Every year, as part of the build-up to the Vodacom Durban July, Gold Circle, in consultation with handicappers, publish a log of horses entered into the race. Essentially, it reflects the order of horses in terms of preference and their chances of making the final field of 18. The log always gets people talking, and this year is no different.
We're delighted with the quality and quantity of entries we received for the Vodacom Durban July 2018. All of the best around are in there.
I think they've got most of the top runners in the country in, and I think the log is pretty much organised. I know they've got the right panel on there, so we'll see how.
Every year there's always people, saying this horse should be higher, this one should be lower, and why didn't I get in?
The log was not as easy as previous years. We've got many hopefuls in there. The first 6 horses did automatically qualify because of previous races that they've won. The hopefuls that are normally at the top decide, listen, there are better chances for them depending on how the horses have been trained and how they've been working at home and on the tracks, which could totally change the log the way it currently looks.
I think all the races like the Cup Trial, the Daily News, they're going to make a big impact.
Yeah, there's always changes and controversies, and but usually there's a horse that everyone says should get in, and it's looking like it's not going to get in, but then in the last minute there's scratchings.
So in other words, watch the space. There's bound to be lots of excitement in these weeks coming up.
Yes, indeed, yeah.
Okay.
The log is interesting, always nice to follow it and see how it changes, horses progress and go up the log and down the log.
I think this year is a bit more competitive than last year, or for the past few years, yeah. So it's going to be really interesting to see what comes out in the wash in the next couple of weeks.
Gold Circle released its updated log this past Wednesday, the 23rd of May. The Cape-based trainers dominate the log with 10 of the 18 entries, Gauteng 6 and KZN 2. Of these, Justin Snaith has no less than 6 of the top 11, with the only other coupling being Glenn Kotson, who saddles Gold Standard and Pack Leader. There are 4 fillies, including the top of the board, Oh Susanna, whilst a third of the top 18 are 3-year-olds. The top 6 entries remain the same. They automatically qualify by virtue of their past performance and races won. The top 6 on the log are Oh Susanna, Coral Fever, Liege, Surcharge, Do It Again and Abashiri. Impressive winner of the Grade 1 Sun Met and Australian import Oh Susanna heads the log. She missed the Daisy Guineas earlier this month with a bruised sole, but was back in work a week later. Justin, what will make you decide on whether to run Oh Susanna in the July or not?
Well, look, there's a lot of things that have got to go right. She's racing in the Wellavington, and judging on how she performs there, that'll obviously help a lot. I have to convince the whole team why I would like to run in the July. So it's a team decision. She is 50-50 running in the race, I can tell you right now, because there's a good chance the weights she'll be badly weighted, and I did it with Bella Bella, and it's very hard because you've got to remember she's 3. You keep thinking, oh Susanna, oh she's a filly. She's not. She's a 3-year-old filly. So when you start getting pushed into the top half of the weights, it's a very big ask to take on the older horses and the males. So it'll take everything to go absolutely perfect. So as I said, she's a 50-50 run at this stage.
Were you happy with her gallop at Greyville the other day?
Very happy. She's a top filly, and hopefully she'll show it in the Wellavington.
Grade 2 Colorado King Stakes winner Coral Fever showed it was no fluke when he went on to win the Grade 1 Premier's Champion Challenge at Turfentine on May the 5th.
It's very well actually. It's very full of the joys of spring.
He gave owner Colin Bird his maiden Group 1 success after 41 years in racing.
probably looking forward to going for the July for Colin Bird and Sylvia.
I know you've been very patient with him earlier on due to a veterinary issue.
He cracked a bone in the knee after winning at Turfentine, and we weren't too sure what would happen with him. But we just gave him a long break, and he came back from that, and he's been sound on it ever since, and he's just sort of done everything well, right, you know, in all respects.
Is he a horse who really enjoys his racing?
Yes, yeah, he's very quirky. He likes to dump the jocks every now and then, but he's a fun horse, and he's a lot of character. So really a nice type of horse to train.
And should he take his place in the July, Robbie, will you just raid with him?
Yes, yeah. We'll probably have one run up in Joburg before the July, probably the Jubilee. I don't know what weight we'll get in there, but you'll probably have a run in the Jubilee. I think that's around about the 10th of June, somewhere there, and then you'll come down for the July.
The Greyville track is very different to Turfentine. Could that be a possible concern for him?
Yes, yeah, it is a concern. It's, you know, he likes Turfentine, a fairly long running, and he sits off the pace and that. But you know, to have a run in the July for Mr. Bird and that, you know, he would really, I think, you know, the owners would really like that. And we'll take our chances there, and hopefully the draw is fairly decent, and hopefully he'll be running on. And if he's got to counter himself, and then he will have a break from there, and then we'll reassess his career after the July.
Current reigning South African champion trainer Sean Terry has one of his entries in the top 20 in the form of 2017 Sansui Summer Cup winner, Liege.
Liege in the Gauteng Sansui Summer Cup has won it.
You are our champion trainer, and this is a champion performance.
The multiple group placed Surcharge can only be described as both talented and courageous. The colt was just beaten into second place in the Derby at Turfentine on May the 5th. It was a notable performance and hot on the heels of second placings in both the Gauteng Guineas and SA Classic. There must be a group win, surely, in the offing. The second of Justin Snaith's entries in the top 18 and winner of the season opener in the Daisy Guineas is Do It Again.
Ready to be set free, they dispatch from the 1600-metre marker.
The athletic son of Twice Over found himself at the back of the Guineas field shortly after the start, yet quickened confidently to win going away over a distance short of his best.
300-metre marker, it's wide open. Mardi Gras, sniper shots, a runner. Do It Again's now putting in a claim as they get to the 200-metre marker.
Justin Do It Again was certainly impressive in the Daisy Guineas. He has a come-on look about him. How's he been working at home?
He's flying. He's a horse that... He's not a miler, not in any way, never has been. He's a horse that gets 2,000 metres plus, so I thought it was very impressive. He'll run in the Daily News, so we're hoping that he'll run a good race there and then cements his place in the Vodacom Durban July. So super impressive 3-year-old, certainly one of the horses that are, if he does come through the Daily News well, it's just going to be interesting to see what level he can go to. So could be a horse that might just be too good for some of the other horses in the Vodacom Durban July. But he has to prove that in the Daily News.
A horse who made headlines 2 seasons back when winning the Triple Crown is on the comeback trail. Abashiri is continuing to regain his strength and form with an eye-catching second to Coral Fever in the recent Premier's Champion Challenge.
Yeah, Michelle, he's come through his run very well. You know, he had a number of races in the build-up to where we've got him to now. So I just let him come through these races without any pressure on him and let him come up to where we got him to for the Champions Challenge. And he's right up to his peak. And here, saying this, though, he's improved tremendously and strengthened up with that run. So we're looking to have him even better come July Day. And he's really getting stronger all the while. So I'm over the moon with what has happened with him from Champions Challenge Day till now, with the natural improvement and him continually improving from run to run. It augurs well for the Vodacom Durban July coming up.
Now, Mike, if he does take his place in the Vodacom Durban July, will you just raid with him?
Yeah, you know, Miss, we're going to raid him this year because obviously we didn't come down for the season. So we have raided successfully before featuring in Natal. Obviously, we don't come into the Vodacom Durban July with rose tinted glasses. We do realize that there are going to be a number of Cape horses in here that are going to be formidable challengers, and we are all aware of how tough it's going to be able to topple a number of horses in the race. But we're happy with where we are, and we're hopeful.
All the best with him. May he continue to strengthen and do your stable proud. With Sylvan Star and Lady in Black scratched at first acceptances, Elusive Silver, Legislate and Star Express move into the middle six. Injuring himself in the Vodacom Durban July Gallops last year and having to be withdrawn from the race, Elusive Silver is back. He won the World Sports Betting 1900 at Greyville a week ago.
And Elusive Silver has won it. Second,
he's always been a high-class horse. When I scratched him last year, he was the favourite at the time for the Durban July. So, we just take it race by race, and every race is a good day if he's sound. So we're just over the moon. As I say, some horses always become some of your favourites, and the way this horse tries and what he comes back from, he's incredible.
How's he come through his run?
Amazingly well. That horse is in a good place at the moment, and there's a very important criteria in the Vodacom Durban July, and that's current form. Yes. His current form's there. He's won the Greyville 1900 with not a very light weight, with one of the heavier weights. So serious contender. He loves Greyville. He's by Savannah. He's got everything going for him. He'll probably have a top jockey on him. Certainly a horse that's got to be given some sort of chance in the race.
Winner of the 2017 Winter Series, African Night Sky, is considered by many as the dark horse in the race. He was unlucky not to have won his last outing last Saturday at Greyville, but if nothing else, showed how well he is.
African Night Sky second.
African Night Sky was very unlucky. You go watch a replay. He was extremely unlucky, but in the prep to the Vodacom Durban July, you couldn't ask for it's a good result for him. Just he got cut off, and he fired up again, and he took off.
Here comes African Night Sky.
For him in the Vodacom Durban July, I'm over the moon.
Where to next with him?
There's a good chance he'll run in the Cup trial, but obviously we're always looking at the handicappers. Can't wait to get their hands on him. It's a very hard one. We've got to weigh it up and see how he draws, and everything is. He's here for the Vodacom Durban July, nothing else. So that takes priority, and the punters can be rest assured he'll come to the race on the day and be extremely ready.
The champ, Legislate, to step in.
Previous winner of the Vodacom Durban July, Legislate, is back in action after a spell at Drockenstein's stud. He turned in a sparkling barrier trial at Scottsville on Wednesday the 16th. It's wonderful to see Legislate back, and it was wonderful to see him in the barrier trial at Scottsville. He clearly enjoyed it. How's he been since?
He's doing very well, but unfortunately I think that the July is certainly not an option, and he'll just be carrying too much weight, to be honest. He'll carry 59.5, 60 kilos over 2,200. I will be recommending to the group not to run him, so you can take him as a doubtful starter, but certainly they have to make that decision, but I will be pushing that. That'll be my recommendation, and I'm sure hopefully they'll listen.
Justin, we hope to see him on the track at some stage. That is still the plan, is it?
Yes, it is. We're just being very cautious. The whole plan with him is the Lomorance Queen's Plate. So we're putting through a program that will suit him to that race. So as I said, yes, we may see him, but it's not confirmed. We'll nominate in the Gold Challenge and then just decide if he's ready or not. But we've also got to a point where he needs to go run. So people must know that it is the first run in a long time, and he may not win. So there's a good chance he'll just go out for his first run, and hoping for a good positive race that then we can take on to the rest of the season and the summer season.
Secret Potion won the Wilkelbosdrift SA Oaks Grade 2 on May the 5th at Turfentine. Second placed Flickety by Far from the stable of Alison Wright has since been a supplementary entry into the race. Winner of the Grade 3 Victress Stakes in December last year is the 5-year-old mare Star Express. She won a pinnacle plate from a fast-finishing African Night Sky 8 days ago at Greyville.
Star Express just made it home. African Night Sky second. Celtic Captain.
This filly has always been my dark horse for the July. In that she ran second to Snow Dance and Oh Susanna. She's a Group 1 filly. The way the weights work, she's a horse that will come in under the radar and a horse that could easily be one of the dark horses.
Cascapedia is the previous winner of the Grade 3 Yellowwood Handicap. She won the London News Handicap on the 7th of January, beating Abashiri and Coral Fever, albeit giving them 3 and 4 kgs respectively.
Back in second, and it's a very fine win for the filly Cascapedia. Abashiri second, Coral Fever, Girl on the Run.
Supplementary entry Fiorella moves into the top 18 on the log, along with Dark Moon Rising. Gold Standard drops down to the third 6, and Fort Ember and Roy Had Enough are out of the log at this stage. Gold Standard is a top division campaigner, having finished 5.5 lengths behind Oh Susanna in this year's Sun Met and 3 lengths behind Whiskey Baron last year. Third to Eyes Wide Open in the Investec Cape Derby and touched off by Head Honcho in the Sledgehammer recently is the second of the Glen Cotson trained runners, pack leader. Having missed the World Sports Betting 1900 with mild colic, he's expected back on the track again in the Daily News 2000.
Fiorella's making a big race of it. Snow Dance is going to have to dig down. Fiorella's on the outside. Snow Dance just clinging to the lead. It's close. They hit the line, and I think Fiorella got her.
I suppose it's what dreams are made of. It was unexpected. I didn't think I'd win the race, but in saying that, I knew I had a decent filly coming into the race, hoping to run a great second, but we got there in front, and I suppose that's all that counts.
James, congratulations on having Fiorella in the top 18 on the Vodacom Durban July log. You must be delighted.
Very delighted. She ran a crack in the, the Guineas, and we're very, very happy that she won. And we'll see how she goes in the Willavington, and then maybe have a crack at the July.
How's she working at home?
She went on the grass yesterday, put up a phenomenal gallop, so we're very confident.
Perovsky is a big runner.
The unfashionably bred son of Russian sage Perovsky stamped his listed Jetmaster Stakes win in February with a gutsy victory over undercover agent in the Independent on Saturday Drill Horse Stakes in May at Greyville.
No, he's a very gutsy horse. He fights on and fights on. I said if he can win this, which I didn't think, it was always going to be hard. But then I can look for another race or two for him here.
Well, he's just landed a place in the top 18 on the log. The second KZN trained runner in the top 18 is Dark Moon Rising from the yard of Paul Lafferty. He was just half a length off Elusive Silver in the World Sports Betting 1900 at Greyville. Paul, congratulations on having Dark Moon Rising in the top 18 on the Vodacom Durban July log.
Yeah, he's coming at 17. He deserves to be there, and I've always thought it isn't the greatest of Vodacom Durban Julys in the sense that a lot of the big horses aren't there. But having said that, the top 6 haven't moved in the log. They're all very good horses. I want to see the Cascapedias and the pack leaders run. They were both unfortunate not to get a race in over the weekend. But it's looking good, and we're absolutely thrilled. The guys are all excited about him. They've been backing him thinking he's going to win the July from day one. They've got 140 to 1, 120 to 1. They're all in the dream factory. So we're thrilled.
When might we see him out again before the July?
The gallops, July gallops.
Placed in the Selangor, Cape Guineas, Byerly Turk and Daisy Guineas, the 3-year-old White River from the stable of Brett Crawford is ever consistent. He's one of 10 runners from the Western Cape in the top 18. So how is the race shaping up?
I think it'll be extremely competitive because I think there's not much between the sort of the top 20 horses, and the battle to get into the field is going to be interesting too, because there's a lot of horses that will be on borderline now.
I don't think I've seen a July, in my opinion, a Vodacom Durban July that's not competitive. These might not be the Marinarescos and all those horses of the past, but these are the young and up-and-coming horses, and I think it's going to be an action-packed race. It's going to be a great race. There's champions in the race. It's going to be a great field as far as I'm concerned.
No matter who's in the race, we're hoping that the best are in there, but no matter who's there, it will be one of the best races ever.
That's it for this edition of Racing News. We'll keep you up to date with movements and changes in the log in the weeks building up to the Vodacom Durban July. Catch us again in 2 weeks. Until then, happy racing.
Vodacom Durban July, flashing to the line, heavy metal number 2. Legislate,
winner of the 2014 Vodacom Durban July.
Tower King, Punta Arenas, eyeball to eyeball, Tower King from Punta Arenas.
Number 14, the Conglomerate, he wins on half a length decision.
Marinaresco, first runner for Candice Bass Robinson and Emotional Team.